host Ntlalontle Ngcakaza, and today we are joined by Rochelle Mountany. She will be marking 100th day as a CEO today. She has already been awarded CEO of the Year and for Geospatial Solutions at the C-Suite Inside Hours 2024. Yes. So just a bit about AfriGIS. Yes. Tell me more. It's a technology solution, geospatial technology solution. Tell me more about this, ma'am, and maybe just also to introduce yourself as well.
Thank you, Ntlalo. Yes, AfriGIS is a geospatial information science company, which is quite a mouthful, but it really stands at the intersection of geoscience and data science. And really what that means is that our core skill set, which is geospatial science, is utilized to put data sets in context. Everything happens somewhere is a simple way of thinking about it. So if you look at our customer data that customers provide to us to solve particular business problems, we are able to overlay that, first of all, in the context of space. So where is this customer? Where is this asset? Where did this event take place? And also we have our own data sets that we then enhance this with to give greater insight. So what else is around this asset? What risks can we identify? How are these points on a map related? What flood areas, for instance, are there? What weather patterns can we identify? What do the people look like, the demographics of the people that are in this area? Where are the customers coming from? So, it's quite a broad spectrum, and there's a number of solutions and customer problems that we're able to solve. But really at the core of it, it's around placing the data in context and then enhancing the understanding of what that context actually is telling us.
Yes, and just also a bit about yourself as you are marking these 100 days as CEO. What was the journey like leading up to this point in your life? Tell me more about some of the challenges, some of the hurdles, and what it took for you to actually, step up and to be elected as CEO of AfriGIS.
Sure. Okay. It was quite a journey. I've been in technology for a long time. I did take the scenic route to get here. I studied technology, but also psychology. Those two things have sort of traveled academically with me in parallel. And I really, I've always thought that they complement each other really well, because technology is used by people and it brings a lot of insights if you can also understand the behavioral aspects in the context of people in working with technology. I was a CIO of a health and wellness company bought by AXA Insurance in France quite a number of years ago. Installed, a lot of health and wellness systems. Again, my background in technology helped me to impact the design of the solutions because they were people focused. From there, I moved on to Microsoft, had a number of different roles in Microsoft, from enterprise architecture, digital strategy for some of the top South African Microsoft customers, then moved into partnership, Middle East and Africa roles, where I really was able to work with a lot of companies like AfriGIS to help them grow, to help them increase their footprint, to grow their revenue through the partnership with Microsoft. And through that, I also got involved in a number of startup hubs, which is still a big passion of mine, entrepreneurship, helping technologies to find that market fit, to understand how to work with large corporates and really grow their business that way is something that is very close to my heart. And also, I think where I came to the attention of the AfriGIS board when they were hunting for a new CEO. They did a lot of due diligence. It was a rather long journey with lots of hoops to jump through. They were not going to hand this over to just anyone. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do that. But, I think what made me successful in achieving this to date is really my diverse inputs in my background, because I'm not just looking at the technology. As much as I can understand that, I also understand the market, I also understand the people, and I'm able to bring all those things together to really help the company strategically think about its future.
Yes, and also tell me more about your time at Microsoft, because that is also I think one of the biggest position in terms of the space you are operating. I mean, in Africa, leading Microsoft, I'm sure it comes with a lot of its challenges. Tell me more about that journey, what that journey was like for you.
Absolutely. Worked in South Africa a lot, the whole Middle East and Africa entity, then moving into Africa. I think it's, as much as Microsoft is obviously a behemoth, it's a giant organization, there's so many things happening. There's almost the same applies to my role in AfriGIS. People just need to understand people, and people buy from people. So it's always about, building those relationships, understanding the context. When you look at Africa, it's not a country. There are very, very different dynamics. You really need to understand how that operates from a technology point of view, how people are using it, what's important to them, what are the price points that make sense in that market versus a different market. So there's so many differences and nuances that really are so key to being successful or not in the broader spectrum. And I think what I'm excited about in the AfriGIS opportunity is that we are small enough to be very nimble, very agile, and we can, adapt, position ourselves as and how it is needed, and as we learn more about the context that we find ourselves in. Whereas, with larger organizations, absolutely they have their benefits and their pros, but they really don't turn on a dime. Whereas, in this smaller entity like AfriGIS, that's absolutely our opportunity, is just to realign ourselves constantly, reinvent ourselves, bring new products to market, because it's only us that, have the power to do that. And that's really the exciting thing for me.
Yes, and your long-term vision, Rochelle, for the company, and how do you plan to adapt your strategy in response to industry challenges and emerging trends?
Well, we are really poised, and the team, even prior to my starting here, have done a lot of work technically to get our systems ready to tackle Africa from a geospatial point of view. I mean, just maybe anecdotally, in a small example is, international organizations, international even geospatial organizations are used to the European method often of approaching geospatial. So a zip code or a postal code means something in that space. You can get a package delivered by giving your zip code. Africa doesn't work that way. Some countries don't even have postcodes necessarily that they use. Other areas, even in South Africa, the whole of Centurion is a single postcode. You're definitely not going to get a package delivered to your house by just using the postcode. You cannot use a postcode for risk management, because there are hundreds of suburbs sometimes inside of a postcode, lots of different demographics, hundreds of kilometers of roads. So just the differences and understanding that you have to tackle local problems with localized solutions, and understanding how Cameroon looks at their suburbs, their streets, their villages, versus how Nigeria understands the size of a suburb or a province, actually is quite important, because those are the building blocks that you can then build your contextual solutions on top of. And that's really something we've done a lot of homework in. So really, from a growth point of view, we're looking towards Africa as our opportunity. We want to expand there with our existing multinational customers and also localized solutions. On the other side, there's sustainability and how geospatial solutions can really underpin and add great value to sustainability type of solutions, ESG reporting, water management. We've dabbled a little bit with it with a hackathon that we were successful in this year, and we're certainly going to grow a lot more in that space. It's important, but it's also something that we can add a lot of value in, and geospatial solutions have not traditionally been part of that industry. And then thirdly, we've been very grateful already. We've built out a number of partnerships from a go-to-market point of view. And that's also something that we, and me specifically, are looking to grow into a lot more, because again, the size of this organization, even larger organizations, you cannot be successful in the world anymore without friends and without partnerships. So we're really actively building out our partnership model to complement other organization solutions and go after win-win opportunities.
Yes, awesome. Tell me, how do you envision the future of AfriGIS in the next 5 years, and what strategic initiatives are you prioritizing to achieve that vision? Do you also see any disruptions in this space in the next 5 years?
I mean, AI is the buzzword of the day, and it certainly doesn't leave us untouched. I think geospatial solutions traditionally has not really been a big area of development for AI, and I do see that happening going forward. Where it's even more critical for us, and maybe it's not unique to us, is that the data quality underlying your AI solutions, the training models for AI, is so key. And when it comes to interpreting objects on a map, or images from a video, or objects in the physical space, which is roughly where we see ourselves, that is 100% key. You have to be sure that your data is validated, that your quality is right, that you are as unbiased as you possibly can be in training your AI to provide these solutions. So we are cautiously entering that space. We've been using AI quite significantly internally to improve our effectiveness and our speed of developing solutions, but we're also bringing it into our customer solutions now, without losing the quality and the data that underlines it, so that we are sure that the answers that our customers get make sense, and have some sort of quality score associated to them. But we're excited about the opportunity. I do think with the increasing access to AI type of solutions, we do need to be a little bit careful about data and the quality of it. It's going to impact pricing of data. Lots more free data with poor quality will become much more easily accessible. So, we are constantly looking for new sources of data to enhance our solutions, but we're very much aware that we need to ring fence that with a layer of quality and validation overlaid on top of whatever data is sourced. So I think as we move for us specifically, it's a bit of a minefield to navigate the terabytes and terabytes of data out there that is becoming so easily available with our value proposition, which is really when you get an answer from AfriGIS, we can put a stamp to it to say that the answer is correct and it's validated and it has used quality data, and that's really the balance that we have to strike, and I think the work that we have to continue to do.
Yes, the economic environment in South Africa, are you guys worried about that? I mean, in terms of the growth of the economy, is that something that is informing your strategy going forward? What do you make of this current economic environment? Because many are complaining of the growth of the economy is kind of stagnant. How do you guys take that into your strategy going forward?
I mean, of course, we're always concerned about, economic growth globally. We're not in the best space from a growth point of view. There is pressure and there will continue to be pressure. I think what's important for us is to continue to bring solutions to market that add value. We work with a lot of government departments. We help them to be more effective. We help them to improve their service delivery. When you look at the sustainability space, we're looking to really grow water stewardship and ESG reporting so that companies can really be stewards of the environment and not sort of report after the fact and give, updates and change their operations as needed. So I think it's about doing good business while making good revenue that will help economies grow, and not necessarily just being concerned about the size of the economy. So that's really our outlook, is to make sure that what we bring adds value. with an additional, sense of the environment out there and the exponential impact that it can have through the customers that we serve.
Yes, winning the C-Suite Insider Awards 2024 CEO of the Year for Geospatial Solutions, a remarkable achievement, I must say. What do you believe set your leadership approach apart from your other peers in this space?
Gosh, yes, I'm very, very humbled and grateful to have received that award.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I mean, and I'm under no illusion. I've not been in AfriGIS for all that long. So I think, first of all, it's a credit to the team. I think what I've been able to do in the time that I've been here is to really shine a light on what they've been able to accomplish, and grow the understanding of the value and the solutions that AfriGIS has built over time. I'm certainly not claiming credit for the great work that they've been doing for, over 2 decades now. But it is about making sure that gets seen, which is really part of my leadership style, is to make sure that, successes are acknowledged, that people feel that they can innovate and to shine a light on that and to bring opportunities to the team. Obviously, a lot of amazing companies in this space. I think we are somewhat unique in that we stand at the intersection of geoscience and data science, which makes people interested in what we do. And also, my diverse background helps me to connect dots that maybe others do not necessarily. And I can see opportunities, having had so much industry, exposure, that people who have kind of, I think, just come out of a geospatial field wouldn't necessarily be able to identify immediately. But certainly not claiming any sort of unique talent or credit for AfriGIS having been here for just 100 days. But I think, the acknowledgement is a testament to just what the team have accomplished and how we've been able to shine a light on that in the short space of time.
Yes. How would you describe the company culture you've fostered? I know it's only been 100 days, but what steps are you taking to ensure it aligns with growth objectives?
I think it's about, when I found a great company. Let me start there. The people are incredible. They're incredibly open, and friendly and helpful. One of the values that AfriGIS talks about is tenacious curiosity, and that really connected with me when I started here. And I think it's something that I continue to find, is that just a bunch of incredibly curious people who are trying to solve problems and innovate. So that resonates with me, and it's been a really good fit. I think it's also, for me, been incredibly important to acknowledge successes and celebrate them as we've had them, to grow on that and to increase the optimism within the organization. I also think, from my leadership point of view, I've been incredibly supported. My trust in them is implied. They've gotten the organization to this point. They certainly know what they're doing. I'm just able to take that and build on it and go further and open more doors and create more opportunity. And that's also been the message that I've come in with, is that I'm very open. My door is open. There's open communication. We're all just here to grow our own interest, to have fun, which is really, really important, and to grow the opportunities for both the organization and the individuals that we have here.
Yes. What qualities do you look for in your leadership team, and how do you approach talent development and mentorship within the organization?
Well, in my leadership team, I've got some incredibly skilled people. There's a very large component of highly skilled developers, geospatial analysts, data scientists. So there's a high level of professionalism and just a willingness to get stuff done and do cool things, which is absolutely something that I encourage. I think, when you're in an organization where everybody's trying to pull in the same direction, it really makes a difference. We're not a siloed organization. There's open communication. There's really not an ego-driven approach. Even our performance management from leadership all the way down takes into account teaming and collaboration. And actually camaraderie is a value that we've just recently introduced through our HR executive into the team, because partly it describes what's already happening, but it also sets an ambition for how we want to be with one another. Very proud of our learnership programs, our internship programs. We have over many years been growing our own. There's a high uptake, over 90% of employment from our learnership and our internship programs into our organization, because the skill sets are rare. So we do, try and identify talented individuals with the right attitude and the right ability, and we then help them to become professionals in our organization. So from a talent development point of view, we really do start already from a learnership, no qualifications, just a willingness to learn, and that's also been very, very successful for us. And again, because we're quite a technical organization, there's continuous professional development that takes place, and new technologies that the team are interested in, need to get on top of when looking for efficiencies all the time. So there's continuous growth and learning as well.
Yes. What has been the most significant challenge you faced as a CEO, and what lessons did you learn from that experience that you apply today as far as your leading role today in AfriGIS?
I mean, I've been quite thankful that I can't really talk to a particular massive challenge, but I think just coming into a new organization as the leader, not coming from this field, I didn't grow up in the GIS space. Learning about geospatial solutions, learning a whole new acronym set of languages that you seem to have to do every time you enter a new organization. I think the key for me has just been to be open to learn and to really listen. And I've spent a lot of time with not just the leadership, with quite a number of people in the organization, just listening and understanding where they've come from, why are things done the way that it's done, what has led to certain decisions being made, so that we can really evaluate whether we're still doing something because it makes sense, or we're doing something because it's the way we've always done it. And to be open to change and innovating, and really just showing people that if we do focus on growth, more and more doors open for them, more and more opportunities are placed in front of them.
Yes, and looking back at your career, what experience has most significantly shaped your leadership style? This geospatial technology space also, speaks to a lot of innovation. I suppose you always have to keep your ear in the ground. Tell me more about also the experiences that have significantly shaped your leadership style to particularly suit this geospatial space.
I think I've always been a lifelong learner, and that's really possibly why I ended up in technology. But it's a really interesting space to be in, and I'm excited about technology. I'm excited about what it can do. So I'm interested, and I enjoy learning about it. And that really also helps to keep that innovation flame alive. If you come across new ideas and you can marry them with problems you've encountered, it's just a really vibrant and evolving space to be in. I think, throughout my career, I've been very fortunate to meet some extremely inspiring leaders. And what I've learned from that is almost the more important you are in organization, the higher your role is, the less I've encountered ego in people. They've really just been very genuine, extremely responsive, agile in their thinking, open to listening and hearing new opportunities, and not very open-minded, not set in their ways. And that's really something that I've resonated with, and I also try to emulate, because I've really experienced just the power of that type of approach to leadership. And that's been, it's an ongoing journey. But I think I've
Yes.
been able to take some of those examples and also I really feel this is such a privilege to lead the team of people that I have, to build the solutions that we do. We've got almost 100 people here at AfriGIS, multiplied with their families that they take care of. I do not take that responsibility lightly. I really think of it as a privilege, and something that is a responsibility that I have to not just maintain and be very, very mindful of, but also to provide growth for.
Yes, just to conclude, what are some of the key trends in geospatial technology that you believe will impact AfriGIS and its clients in the coming years? And how do you guys differentiate from competitors in the geospatial data industry?
I think that we've really only scratched the surface of what geospatial solutions can bring, what type of problems it can solve. I think there's a lot of work that we have to do from our side to showcase what's possible, because it's really incredible when a customer sees their data in context. The light bulbs go on. So I didn't know that this was related to that. And oh gosh, I would have made a decision differently if I had seen the data the way that you're visualizing it for me. So I really am so excited, and I think the opportunities are just as big as your imagination, really, because there's just so much that you can do and enhance and bring from a customer understanding point of view to really help them solve their business problems, to drive efficiency and actually deliver better services to their customers. So from that point of view, I really think it's just a minefield of innovation that we have in front of us, and we need to pick our way carefully so that we don't grow a little too fast. We want to have depth in various industries as well. Yeah, sustainability, I think, is a really, really important thing. It's very close to my heart, but it's also so key. And I think there's a number of solutions that we can enhance with our technology, especially in the water management space, which has been an underserved area of sustainability really to date. So we really are looking to grow into that space as well. I think the market is big enough for a number of competitors to sit side by side and even work together and partner depending on where our various strengths are. But I do think what sets us apart is really that we're not a mapping company. We don't build maps. We provide insights through the interface of maps and through putting data into context. So really that intersection of the data science with the geospatial context, and just understanding data and context through a very clearly qualitative and validated, underpinned model is where our unique value proposition sits.
Yes, and how connected are you guys? I mean, to the communities? Do you maybe reach out to communities, to the kids, to also educate? I know you spoke to mentorship earlier on and the learnership that you do. Do you have any projects maybe with the TVET colleges or anything like that? How do you maybe also play your part? I know South Africa, we have scores of unemployed youth, and it is expected that, it's on all of us to do our bit. Obviously, you can't expect one guy to just take all the load. But what are some of the work that you guys are doing in the communities or looking to do?
We're a member of Just South Africa, and there's a lot of work that we do from that point of view to help grow the the body of knowledge to help grow the industry. We do partner with some academic institutions to ensure that the academic programs remain real-world relevant, so that when the graduates come out, they actually will walk into job opportunities and they haven't been taught just theoretical knowledge to full a syllabus to be quite blunt. But we do make sure that we keep up with that, and we actually inform back into the world of just to actually make sure that the education that people come out with is very relevant. And then obviously, we do our learnerships and our internships as well. It's a little tricky when you get into the school setting and the sort of lower education piece, because that's really, our CSI initiatives, and we give back to our communities through that. But, we're really more focused on the professional side of things. So when you're able to move into a profession, we're able to go through a learnership. That's really where our ability to grow our communities and grow our people comes in.
Yes. Any advice you can give to some of the guys who are looking to get into this space, to get into CEO in this space? What's that life-changing advice that you've received in your own journey?
Gosh, I should make some bullet points as I go. Look, I think it's important to understand that you can be a leader in your space regardless of the title that you have. It's about how you show up. It's about what you bring. It's about that mindfulness and the spirit of growth and the camaraderie that you bring to your space. So you don't need to be called a CEO to be a leader and to bring direction and to support people within your environment, first of all. I also think, I've been very fortunate and grateful to continue to work in a space that I enjoy, and that makes a big difference. If you find something that you're good at and that you like, to really dig into that and to make sure that you are getting the certifications and you're getting the education and you're teaching yourself. There's so many free resources available, and just keep up to speed with that, so that you dig, you build quite a lot of depth in an area that you find joy in. It's maybe a bit cliched, but you have to build your own network. You have to make sure that you look after your personal brand. What is it that you stand for? What is it that you bring? Are you networking with people within your industry? Are you building relationships with others, even in your own organization, in your customer organizations? Because that's really what I've seen so many people being successful in. And I also, I try and work on that. Networking is not a strength that I have. So I've really tried to focus on building that skill set, because you take your network with you regardless of where you go. And that's also what helps you and what builds that support, in every single place you find yourself in a professional context.
And how important is personal development and personal growth in the professional world, would you say?
I think it's hugely important. I think you have to prioritize that, both from a topic point of view as well as from a personal point of view. And you don't have to share it with anybody, but be honest with yourself. Where are the areas that you struggle? Where are the areas that you're good at? Don't just lean into the areas that you're good at, but also build out the areas that you struggle, because you want to be a well-rounded person. You want to have a high level of EQ. You want to be able to speak well with others and to keep your cool in difficult situations and be that person that people go to. Like, if I have a problem and I need somebody who's going to deliver it, I'm going to go to so-and-so. You want to be that person that people think of. And the only way to do that is to constantly focus on your growth.
Is that maybe emotional intelligence? Is it key in leadership? To have that control, in those difficult moments whereby some people will just explode. You find it's key for leadership to have that cool head.
I think it's absolutely key. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that every single leader has achieved that. We're all still growing. but it just makes such a difference if you can set the example to people of how to behave professionally. You don't have to agree on a topic. You don't even have to like each other necessarily, but you can work together. You can achieve a goal, and you can do it without losing your cool. I think that makes people want to work with you. I think that's the kind of leader most people aspire to follow, as opposed to follow because they have no choice. You do get a lot more, innovation, openness, the kind of culture that I think people would prefer from leaders who are able to keep a cool head and to really just see their way through, focusing on the facts, focusing on the problem rather than getting emotions involved in that. And, you can go meditate or have a swim or do yoga or whatever you need to do to deal with that, because we're all human and we are affected by stress. But we should choose the avenues that we decompress in.
Yes. Lastly, CEO, what you are excited about in this space right now, or maybe in the near future? And we also spoke a bit about AI. How do you see that influencing or impacting the industry, whether for good or maybe some concerns, not just your own industry, but in the broader spectrum of just industry?
I mean, firstly, what I'm excited about is just the opportunities that we have. We are talking to more and more customers who are looking for solutions that we know we can bring to the table. Looking for growth opportunities outside of South Africa. We do have a number of customers outside of South Africa. And, we're in such a great position where we have the skills in this country that we can really build some great solutions across the globe. So really excited about that, and what that's going to look like for AfriGIS and how many more people we can employ as a result. So that's really, really, really key. I think, for us, but also for just the industry in general, if you think about AI, we're living in a bit of a post-truth world. It's there's a lot of misinformation out there, and it's really hard to navigate through that, especially with AI, because it just is so difficult to make the distinction. So it does come down to utilizing it as a tool and not really replacing it for critical thinking, or understanding where the sources of trusted information is. We do think of ourselves as a source of trusted information in our space. There are others in other industries. We would like to continue with that brand. People trust us with some very, very sensitive information because we know how to ring-fence it, we know how to validate it, we know how to make quality information available. And I think that's so key if we continue as just society to make sure that we are mindful of that. And we are critical in our approach to what we are presented with. I think that's probably going to be an incredibly key skill for us as we continue down this ubiquitous world of just information available everywhere at the drop of a penny. It is really important to be able to distinguish.
Yes, Rochelle, thank you so much, and congratulations to your award, CEO of the Year. And I'm looking forward maybe to working with you, doing some of these engagements to educate. I mean, even for me, like this was something new. I wasn't quite informed about this space, but it was educational for me. And yes, maybe to educate the youths in the townships, we could do something, maybe workshops to engage them and just to speak to this space and to empower and educate. So yes, definitely looking forward.
Thank you, Ntlalontle. Lovely talking to you, and absolutely happy to partner and bring some more value to communities.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.